Everybody, welcome back on the Stretch Professor. Today we're going to do a little coaching session for a jungle coaching game. We're looking at a Rammus game from iPotato here. So as always, if you enjoyed the coaching and you'd like a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Happy to help you out with that. It's just $25 for non-members, $20 if you want to become a channel member. If you're a channel member, you can also come out and play with us every Sunday in some normal games for fun with me and some of the other members of the community. And you also get $5 off any guides that you want. Okay, cold. The Rammus invade. I like it. Okay. And just as a disclaimer for other people watching that are like not on the stream, I am not a jungle main. So, I'm not going to be perfect with the jungle. That is a pretty clever invade, though. You know, a lot of people don't ward the red, and a Moo always starts blue. Like, you just can't clear without blue, so it's a pretty good decision. I would have... I think you're supposed to get Powerball, and you should be Powerballing around to this next camp to save a lot of time. And that's one of Rammus's things, is he's so fast that you do save quite a bit of time. Yeah, so I would have Powerballed over, like, this way. It's kind of like Nunu, I guess, is similar. Teemo's pushed up, so after you get this blue and then Gromp, you might want to swing top. Gromp, 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 Gromp. You always want Gromp. Gromp's the biggest camp right now. It's worth the most gold and experience, so you want to clear that like ASAP. If it's ever anywhere close to what you want to do, like on the map. Like the buffs are your top priority, but then Gromp. And I'm not sure after that. It kind of depends on your champion, but I think golems... Now, next patch, this is 10.2. On 10.3, I believe they're buffing golems a little bit, and they're nerfing Gromp a little bit. So I think if you can clear golems, then golems might be worth it. I'm not sure. Rammus probably pretty good with raptors, too. Get this, get the scuttle, get the scuttle, get the scuttle. Scuttle's another one. You want to do like camp, scuttle, Gromp, or like your farm priorities. All else things being equal, but... She got the net off. I think you got to taunt immediately. Like, as soon as you hit her while she's still kind of jarred. Looked like you were trying to sneak in one extra auto before the taunt. Yeah. I mean, that's like red. I think that's like red if you start red, but he invaded their red, so it's a little different. I think that going their red into chickens, into blue Gromp, and then gank with Teemo is pushed up would have probably been enough. And then if the gank with Teemo doesn't work out, then just warp bottom, and then just golems red, chickens, wolves, repeat gank on Teemo. Usually you want to try to camp bottom, but like Teemo's so so easy to kill and bot's pushed up, so. They saw you, Mumu saw you, it's a waste of time. I don't think Rammus does dragon particularly quickly, which is unfortunate. That's why you don't see him in the meta a lot. Okay, yeah. Come down here, come down here. I think flash on Senna. Yeah, Powerball through. It's so fast. Yeah, go. Nah. Okay, just go get golems. No, it's a waste. It's a waste. Probably warded. You want to be really efficient with your time. Like, if they see you, just whatever. Just go, like, do more camp. You might as well stay at this point and get scuttled. I'd probably go Righteous Glory. That's... I don't know exactly what he's doing these days, but... I'm not sure if you're supposed to go Cinder Hulk or Righteous Glory next. You're kind of offside. I mean, if they see you up here, it's probably going to be Dragon. I mean, a Moo doesn't, like, do Dragon that well, but... I'd say go get his red right now. I'd go get his red immediately, because you know he's going to be blue side. And maybe tell your team to... Yeah, I mean, his red just... The thing is that you might be too late now, because he... Actually, you could next level him and get your Gromp and then go Dragon, because he's going to go red. Thinking that you took his red, probably. I mean, if he tries to next level you... Okay, he's on Dragon. Yeah, go down there, go down there. I think y'all can intercept him and kill him. He takes so much damage. He was just a terrible champion. No offense. He needs some help. Did he just rework it? I like the idea of like this guy. Oh. Chinese coffer, what? Yeah, I think, I don't know. Definitely some optimizations in pathing. Like, if you would have taken his red, instead of going for your Gromp, probably, and then Raptors, maybe you could have rotated down. I don't know. I think with Rammus, you really have to, you really got to gank a lot early on. Like, you got to have some successful ganks, because, I mean, one thing, like, he's so fast, especially at kind of lower elo brackets. I'm not sure which elo you're playing this in, but, like, sometimes they don't see him on wards because he moves so fast. They just don't react fast enough. Well, I mean, I think the one champion people are talking about, some people do things better than Rammus. I think it's basically Nunu. Like, Nunu's super easy. The thing is, Rammus's thing was basically he's tanky and he's really fast. So he can, like, come in quickly for ganks and stuff like that. It's kind of his old kit, right? But, like, Nunu is, like, reworked Nunu is very similar. He's really fast with his W and he's very tanky with his chomp, and then he gets a shield on his ult now. The thing about Nunu, though, is he clears so much faster, and he can actually threaten dragons and barons and things like that a lot more. But Rammus can work if they have a ton of AD, like, you know, and he gets Thornmail and things. If they have, like, quad ADs or something, and you get Thornmail and Righteous Glory, like, you can be pretty sticky. Nice, okay, that was a good one. Perfect, okay, good. The Ori plus Rammus is good. Ori, like, with any sort of engage is pretty solid. You get the Caitlyn, you're not going to get female, though she's probably going to kill somebody. Maybe you can get her after this, but yeah, I think going for the Caitlyn's a better deal. Whoa, what? What was that crit? Oh, God. So, Golems, Raptors, I'll get golems. Just start with the bottom. Just start with golems, and work your way up north. What's up, Durf? No. Go top side. There's 3 camps top. There's nothing bottom. I don't know. I mean, if this works, it's good, but like this is likely to be warded. You gotta go. Like if you're gonna walk into somewhere like this that could be warded, like you have to, yeah, it's warded. You have to like powerball in immediately. You know what I mean? And just say, hey, if it's warded, I'm just gonna put him to the test. If you really don't want to ever be sitting in a bush as a jungler, you need to be like very decisive. Let them show you that it's worth it, you know? If people are there, right? Like if they start acting weird, then you're just like, okay, it's worth it, and you just, you know, go back to farming. But the problem is you don't really have a plan B down here. Because everything's farmed. I guess like you can do golems, but that's why I just think going top side, clearing all that out, and then try to make a play on Teemo is probably a better option. I mean, maybe even Rift. You do Rift probably pretty slowly, but... Videos in recent of League of Legends? What is of League of Legends? What do you mean? Is that like some kind of channel or something? Like a recommended channel or something like that? I appreciate it.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yeah, like these camps have been unfarmed for like 5 minutes or something. You gotta get up there and farm that stuff. I mean, you're still ahead of a Moo, sort of, but I don't know what like a good number for jungle.
Rampage.
I don't know what the perfect number is. I mean, it probably depends. Like right now, you know, kind of the top end meta is just like super heavy gank junglers early, like. Okay, cool, man. Yeah, I know YouTube's been recommending me in a few more things, which is cool. I think I am one of the bigger streamers of League of Legends for YouTube. Obviously not for Twitch. There's like, you know, massive Twitch people, but there aren't a ton on YouTube that live stream, and I think they've been recommending their live stream stuff a lot more lately. But yeah, just farm this. Just farm this. Just farm. Like, if you're not ever sure what to do next, just farm. I mean, a lot of, you know, like I said, a lot of the top end junglers, Elise, Lisa, and Italy, all those are like super, like, get to level 3 and just chain gank everything. But I think especially in the, kind of the lower down you go, the more viable just kind of like farming up is, because people just won't even farm. You can still farm with those champions too. I mean, Elise and Lee, like, all of them farm pretty well. Maybe not like the biggest power farmer in the game, but they're pretty good. Gromp, gromp, gromp. Scuttle. Okay. You got the scuttle. You need to also try to get some more vision. Like, you need to have a control ward on the map at all times. And ideally you get a sweeper like really early to sweep for, you know, wards for ganks.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed. Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, just farm these things though. I mean, like, Dragon's up, but y'all don't have enough pressure to really do anything with it yet, because Thresh is not here. Oh, That was rough. You might be able to get her anyways. Maybe. Okay. Forget this tower's still here. Whoa, what? Oh, she had a unsealed spell. Look, why would she not just save her smite in case you die or something? I don't know. Oh, the pains of being thrashed. The rest shouldn't have taken that though. Get him, buddy! Get!
Executed.
Oh, unlucky. Okay, I mean, Deadman's pretty good too. Deadman's pretty good.
Blue team's turret has
Like I
been
said, I've seen a lot of Righteous Glory. That used to be like the thing. I don't know. I've not seen a lot of Rammus lately, to be fair. Deadman's does give you a lot of movement speed. The nice thing about Righteous is whenever you get close to somebody, though, it adds that big slow on there. So even if they flash after you bump them, then they're still slowed for a while. Righteous does give a lot more armor. Or Deadman's does give a lot more armor, though. I think Righteous is like 30 armor, 400 health. This is 425. Righteous is a bit cheaper, but this might actually be against their comp. Use your Powerball to move around in the jungle a lot more. Were you doing that earlier and I just didn't notice? Like, you need to be like, yeah, it's like Powerballing a lot. I know that it was, what are you maxing? Okay, yeah. I was about to say, I think Powerball is what you max, so the cooldown should be fairly short. You can use it to sit around the jungle. Yeah, you can do Thorn Mail as well. I mean, Thorn Mail is like, it's like the ultra hard, you know, counter to AD. If you get that on Rammus, which is nice, but I think this is fine. You already have so much armor. I mean, it's a cute interaction, but they really don't have any melee on their team that matters. Everybody's range except for Amumu, and he just building full tank and doesn't do any damage with his autos anyway, so... Like, I know it works against range too, but they also have like 3 magic damage dealers. I don't know. Maybe later on the Thorn Mail, but I think that getting a speed item fairly early on is probably better than Thorn Mail in a lot of cases. Like the Righteous Glory or the Deadman's. Yeah. I'm not I'd have to check the numbers. I know they've changed them some over time. I'm not sure if you should max W or E second. I know you get more taunt duration from E, which is really good, but you also want to make sure your tank get up and get blown up. Got him! Get him, Rambo. I mean, I don't know. He does get some extra damage. Excuse me. Did they nerf his armor conversion? I think he's supposed to go Cinder ult, but maybe. They need an attack speed armor item. Get on it, Riot Develop team. I don't know why they would nerf Rammus, man. It's like, come on, dude. Give him a break. I mean, there have been metas where people, like, ban him all the time and think he's OP, but it's usually in, like, you know, lower brackets. And there's other stuff that's OP also in lower brackets. I don't know. Champion like Rammus in 2020 should absolutely murder melee physical damage dealers. Like, he should crush things like Master Yi and, you know, Kha'Zix and stuff like that, but he really doesn't. 'Cause he doesn't have any percentage damage, doesn't have any true damage. He doesn't do any damage. You can't be a tank that doesn't do damage in 2020. Because it doesn't have just, like, an absurd amount of CC. Like a Nautilus or Leona or something. I'm surprised no one's calling for Rammus at, like, rework. I mean, I guess, like, Rammus is barely, like, has more lore. Like, I think some of the, like, minions might have more lore than Rammus does. Or, like, voice lines. I don't know. They don't even say anything, but it's like, he's just like, here. And that's it. He was actually OP in all elos. Probably Set. I think Set's the highest win rate. I mean, there are very few things that are, like, really OP and, like, you know, Challenger or Pro and, like, Iron. I mean, if you're talking, like, Platinum and lower, probably Master Yi. Particularly, I don't know if people are getting used to him. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to look at those win rates, but last time I looked, they're like 57%. I mean, that's gonna be about as close as it gets, I think. Helios maybe, but he's been nerfed a lot. Misfortune. That's kind of awkward. Does Rammus have a music video? I don't know. I guess so. Maybe I'm just not privy to the Rammus stuff. I feel like he gets overlooked a lot on, like, rework talks.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Honestly, I don't even think Fiddlesticks is that bad. Like, he's just, like, not in the meta right now, but I think his kit is, like, relatively okay. I don't know if they needed to do a full-on, like, rework of it. Same thing with Volibear. It's, like, just his little, knockback roar or whatever, majestic roar that knocks people out of the sky, just, like, buff that a little bit. I don't think Blitz is OP at higher heroes. I don't know, he's okay. Are you talking reworks? I think Blitz is fine. I don't think Blitz needs a rework. I don't know, man. I think Rammus needs... Fiddle's not just a visual rework. Now, when they say visual rework, it's very confusing their verbiage. But when they say visual rework, they actually mean full-on rework. No, it is a full rework. They call it a visual rework for some reason, but it's full-on, like, changing abilities. A lot of stuff.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
I don't know why they don't just call it a full rework, but like if they do the last things that they've called visual reworks are like actual like big reworks, with the exception of like Morgana. They called Morgana a rework, but yeah, if Rammus could roll over walls to some extent, kind of like Kane, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I guess he works for what he is. He's just like a counter pick, you know. Okay, let me see how you die here. I mean, he shoots right, like melee though. Maybe he just needs like some buffs. Like, I think the damage return, the physical damage return, should be like true damage. I don't know. I hate true damage. It should be higher. Nice. Okay, well you got Dragon and then they just cleaned y'all up. Nah, I'm pretty sure they've teased like new abilities. I think there was actually a leak. I saw Red Mercy posted a video about a leak. I didn't watch it earlier, but I think they've actually leaked part of it, but it could just be clickbait talking about a couple of potential like changes. I don't think those are supposed to happen until mid-season. But from what I understand, most of their stuff is supposed to be pretty different. At least with Fiddle, they said they're keeping his fear for the most part, but I think the other stuff is getting changed. I think Fiddle's pretty much fine though. You know, like his drain's kind of lame. He's not that great in the jungle, but like they could easily just like have him like do like his drain does 50% extra damage to monsters or something. I think that's the easiest way to buff or nerf things that you want in the jungle, is just like have the abilities do percentage extra damage to monsters.
Red team's turret has been
Check this out. Sorry, I've been a little distracted. Talk to the chat here for a second. The last bit here. Okay, so Rammus. So Ori and Aatrox are dead, so y'all should not be fighting here. Yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, it's like the Thresh, it's like the jungler and the support versus ADC and a top laner. It has been pretty rough, Drexus. Like, my theory is that a lot of people waited, delayed, because a bunch of people, like a bunch of content creators, tell people to wait like a couple of weeks and then come in and start to play. And I have a feeling a lot of people just waited. I think. I don't know. It does feel uneven, for sure, in my games. Then you got a combination of people that waited and haven't played, and then people that kind of got to where they've capped out, and then they're smurfing. Is what it feels like. There might be more boosters, too, at the start of the season, where people want to, like, buy a, buy a new account or whatever. There might be. Jungle buff is justified? Absolutely not. I think jungle's fine. I mean, jungler's like the most popular role in Challenger in every region. In EU, it's by a very large margin, but in every other region, who was at Mobilytics did a video about this recently, which was pretty cool. I haven't seen content like that, but they told you the breakdown of the top 50 players in Challenger right now, and it told you like their 3 most played champs, like what the most common champs were. So it's pretty cool. I recommend checking that video out. But yeah, jungle's the most represented role. Junglers just always cry about it. I think what the thing is, there's a misconception, I think, of what junglers should be. I think junglers should be much closer to support than it should be to a solo lane. Or even to AD carry. And a lot of people like think that, a lot of junglers think they should be on par with solo lane. Let me reset this. Just kind of, I'll elaborate on that point here in a second. Okay, wait, why are you over here? You trying to flank? I don't know, man. Nah, I would say with your team, just run at them, just straight. Like, I mean, the flanking's okay, but you kind of want to front line for your team, too. Like, if you just run at them and you press W and they, like, blow a bunch of cooldowns on you, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, junglers complaining because they can be 4 levels behind. Like, welcome to support, buddy. Or, like, 80 carry. Like, that's just how League is right now. I think the solo lanes are OP, but I don't, like, junglers act like this is a new thing. I mean, that's, like, always the case with supports and 80 carries. I think the junglers should be, like, their experience should be on par with the duo lane, like, the dual lanes. And the main reason, they have, like, they have so much leverage and so much power over the early game. Like, so many games can be determined by, like, good junglers, like, in the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. Be lights out if you, and there's so many different ways you can win, too. Like, you can go, like, hard invade the enemy jungle, you know, and bust them up one-on-one. You can chain gank the same lane. You can gank different lanes. You can take objectives. Like, there's a lot of different stuff that can happen to win you the game. So I feel like you have more control over your destiny than almost any other role as a jungler. Like, yes, if all of your lanes feed, yeah, of course you're gonna lose, right? Like every other role. But the thing is, unlike every other role, you can't roam like starting level 1 to go like choose which lane you want to influence, right? Like, the thing that's going to be closest to that is probably, like, a hard roaming support. You know, like a Nautilus, a Leona, or a Blitzcrank. But even they have to, like, stay in lane for a little bit and get some experience. Like, junglers, you know, they do have to farm the jungle sometime, but they can drop whatever they're doing anytime they want and just go, like, gank a lane. And so there's got to be a price for that, right? Like, you're so powerful in the early game, you dictate so much of how the game goes. It's not fair if you're on par with a solo laner. I don't think so. Because you have so much macro control. But I think that junglers, like I said, I think they should be, like, on a power level that is, you know, probably stronger than support, depending on the situation. But, like, their experience and gold should be decidedly lower unless they get a lot of ganks and kills, but they have a chance to get a lot of ganks and kills, so you know, it's a high risk, high reward like role. That's how I see like that it should be. I mean, they have cheap, very efficient items too. Like, the thing is, you got to remember that people are just like, oh, they have less gold or less levels, but they're balanced around that. Like, things like warrior, you know, are extremely efficient items. Like, all those items, certainly warrior, and I think the AP one's like super efficient too. But I don't know. I think jungle's fine. Jungle's the hard. To be fair, jungle's the hardest thing to balance this game because like there's such a huge difference. Like, I think that's one of the biggest differences between like skill level and players, especially the macro. Like, but yeah, I mean that's what I think. Is that was a good like final sequence of just like running everyone down, killing them there. I don't think Ivern's really going to be OP most of the time. Like, he's kind of a one-trick champ. Lower jungle XP? No. Like, right now, the stuff that's OP is just hard gank. Like, you just get to level 3 ASAP and then just, like, sit on a lane, pretty much. That's sort of what the meta is right now. No. I mean, you could say theoretically anything can do any, like, lane, but there's stuff that's decidedly way better in the jungle. I mean, like, you can see obscure stuff in there, but there's definitely a pecking order in the jungle. Anyways, so yeah, I don't think that jungle buff is warranted. I think they should nerf solo lanes. If they want to, like, bring balance, a little more balance to the game, they should nerf solo lane XP. It is, and it should be much weaker around 20 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Last season, I think for a lot of last season, jungle was OP, which is why they nerfed it, because you could basically power gank. Like, what happened last season is, because of rubber banding experience, you could actually just sit there and chain power gank, and even if you fell behind, even if you had unsuccessful ganks, you could just go back and do your camps again, and you got all this like bonus XP and bonus gold to catch up for all the time you spent ganking. Right now, because the camps are worth lower and they worth less, and they got rid of catch-up experience, then if you try to chain gank bottom 3 times in a row and you fail, you actually do fall behind. So you are weaker at 20 minutes than you were. So yeah, you are weaker, but they should be weaker. I mean, there was such a safety net under most junglers that people could just play stuff that was like super risky early game, and if they failed, like, you know, just Kha'Zix and all these assassins and things like that, and if they failed, it didn't really matter because they would just get all this catch-up experience. So I don't know. I mean, that's what I think. Jungle's fine right now. I know all junglers are going to complain about it and blah blah blah, but that's because everybody thinks junglers should be able to like 1v1 solo laners if they just power farm their camps, and I just think that that's not healthy for the game. If you power farm your camps, just because even if you do that, you still have the option of going to gank if you want to. You have the ability to go do that. Like, you have so much freedom, whereas most laners are tethered to their lane and they can't roam that much. There are some mid laners that violate that. They have really fast wave clear that can roam and things like that, but by and large, most lanes are tethered to their lane. That's it. You can influence your laner for the most part early on. Now later you can roam. You've got teleports, stuff like that later on, but like especially in the first 5 or 10 minutes of the game, most of the time you're trapped in your lane and you can't do anything about anything else. Versus jungler, you know, you have the freedom to decide what you want to do. Like, if one of your lanes are ahead, you can sit on them, get them further ahead. You know, a solo laner blows a flash or like forces the enemy to blow a flash, you can go up there and capitalize on it. So you just have so much power in the first 10 minutes that I think really you should be weaker. Like I said, you should be closer to support 2.0 late game. You know, if you're playing Kha'Zix and you're not like 5-0 by 20 minutes, I think that you should feel almost worthless later on. No, not +9 armor for everyone. Okay. Anyways, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you very much. So, as far as the Rammus stuff, sorry that back half we were kind of chatting with the chat a little bit. The top laner should beat you even if you have kills, because you had the freedom early on to go get those kills. I mean, it depends on champions and matchups and things like that, but they should be ahead because, like, you're trading out your ability to get solo lane levels for your ability to go influence, like, lanes and things like that. Because it's not just about you, right? Like, if you go and you get a kill in mid lane, it's not just you got the kill, right? It's like their mid laner's really far behind at that point, right? Like, they're losing a lot of experience at towers. You can get plates, you can get towers. You get that kill, you can go get objectives. Like, there's a lot of stuff you can do with that. You know, if you go mid lane, you kill mid lane as jungler, you and the mid laner can go bottom and, like, have your... Or, like, you can go to dragon and have your bot lane rotate up and do that. You know, if you're top lane and you get a kill, what are you going to do with it? Reset, right? Like, you push it into tower, you reset, that's it. Versus a jungler, you get a kill, you can go do something. A lot more. Like, you can go take their jungle, ward up their jungle, go get dragon, go get, you know, Rift Herald. Like, you have so many more ways to get rewards off of kills versus someone like top lane who's probably just going to push and reset, or like mid lane who's probably going to push and reset. So, anyways, I just think that you have so much more capability. Like, you have so much more potential to just run away with the game early on if you have really good pathing and really good decision making, and solo lanes just don't have that. So that's why I think that the solo lane should be ahead. Now, should they be 5 levels ahead if you're doing very well? You know, at 25 minutes, probably not. But, you know, I think they probably should be 2 or 3 levels ahead at like 15 minutes, unless you're killing everything on the map and, like, taking the experience after you kill it or something like that. Yeah, I think somewhere between, like, power level between, like, support and solo laner, you know, is probably appropriate. Maybe slightly more power, maybe slightly more level, slightly more gold than a duo laner, but I don't know. Anyways, okay. But that's going to be it. So the biggest thing, Rammus, I think is just like, if you want to jungle, just work on that optimization early on. You know, just farm, just look at where all your camps are on the side of the map. Like, that blue was the best example where you didn't farm the top side for, you know, like 5 minutes or so. Just go to the side that has all the camps, do the camps, and then look for a gank. And then if the gank doesn't work out, you blow a flash or whatever, then you go to the other side, farm those camps, and just look for more opportunities. But you need to be weaving in the farming, like, between doing those camps, especially on something like Rammus, you know. So that's probably the biggest thing. Getting the control wards, like getting more control wards and just making sure you have a control ward somewhere in their jungle. Like, usually somewhere around their camps are good. Like, that bush near red buff is good. Or like that new bush they added in near blue buff. Can be kind of a sneaky place. But just get that vision in. You know, see if you can spot out where the Amumu is. And then try to play around that, right? If you know Amumu's going to be bot side, see if you can gank top side. And so on and so forth. But anyways, okay, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Anyone else that would like a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Happy to help you out. If you want to watch more coaching, check out the description. I'll have a link to a playlist. And that's going to be it. Have a good day. See you next time.